Welcome everyone, this is MJ from MJ Hobby Corner, and today I'm going to do part 2 of building an ornithopter for our fantasy games. And this is actually a pair of ornithopters that I will be building following the same technique, one from the other. So this is as far as I got in the original one. I added the little clay eagle head there. Okay, and tail assembly has started, and then this mid portion here is where the wings are gonna start, right here, in through here. Okay, in through there, and then continue in here, and I'm gonna have a couple of gears. I haven't decided yet how to place them, but they're going to go into in this middle section here, and the wings will probably extend in here as well. So and of course I gotta cut this dowel because the wings are gonna be more like at an angle, something like this. Okay, and kind of come out and then back, and then the platform in here is where I put my little mage figure. Okay, so this will be on a flight stand, and it's the same principle, same idea, except the design is very different, very strange craft for sure. So it's similar to this ornithopter, where I can put my mage figure right in the center. This one has supposedly a pilot here. I'm going to find the suitable figure for that. So this was my first ornithopter, and then this is, and this could be for any faction really, any fantasy game where we want to have these kinds of things. So this one's gonna have just one individual flying the machine, which is probably going to be the mage. And then we need to add some kind of landing gears, and obviously a probably some arcane ballista or something that's gonna magnify the spell, amplify whatever spells the magic user is doing, and then it'll fire from there, right? I'll explain that later, I guess, my ideas on that. So let's see in this video if I can get, how far I can get with this one, okay? And just kind of show what I did for that one over there, okay? It's not going to be identical, but it'll be very similar. All right, let's start. This stage is more about using these cocktail sticks. So I'm going to start cutting sticks to make the cross beams here that you see, okay? And it has that kind of structure, and that really gives it a lot of strength. This is actually surprisingly a very strong little model, and I'm using my tacky glue and my cutters, and if I need some filing, I have some filing paper around so I can start filing. So first I'm going to cut my sticks, and then come back and start placing them. All right, so first things first, I cut a little piece that's going to go, it's going to be a little cross beam here, and that's going to support some of the other beams. So just going to put a dab of glue on each side and put this in right around here, not quite the middle of the tail. I put it next to the other ornithopter. It's at around the same level. Okay, so now I'm going to continue to cut the little pieces. So I want one coming up here. So for the little cross beams, I place one little stick, glue it inside that hollow portion there of the fuselage, and then I glue the other end to this little beam that's going across. Okay, and then I'm going to continue to do that for the next piece, and this gives it some support and some detail. So here's my next piece. I'm just gonna glue that in. All right, so now those two beams are connected. Okay, and I'm going to continue with another little beam, another little cross beam, and this one goes up and to that little piece there. So I'm going to glue that piece first, and then I'll glue those two pieces. I used the other Ornithopter just to give me a similar kind of, similar lengths for the little sticks. And I just mark off where I'm going to cut, and I cut my little stick here to the size that I wanted that's similar. It's not going to be exact, it's going to be similar. Okay. All right, so time to glue this on now. And now I'm just going to put my nearly finished model right there and just get an idea where that stick's going to go. All right, so I'm just going to put some glue on there. Put that a little bit centered and just kind of and again they're not going to be identical to each other, they're going to be similar. All right, so putting that little beam there, I'm going to give it a little time to dry, then I'll do the other connection. All right, so I place my little cross beam there, okay, and now I'm going to do the other side. And I cut an angle on one of the sides that I'm gluing, and that's going to go towards the bottom. So I'm just going to put it in that little blob of glue and very carefully just kind of put it in place. And okay, and just kind of make sure this is straight. And that's just to add a little bit of detail and to it, okay? And it also gives it a lot of strength. And there is quite a bit of glue there. I added a little bit more than I should, I guess, but it'll dry clear and, make it really strong. So there's the second piece, the second Ornithopter, and I'm modeling it after this one so I can show all the steps that I used for it. All right, we need another piece right here. I'm going to put that cross piece right now. All right, so I'm adding my second little cross piece right there, roughly around the same position as the other one. Make sure everything has enough glue here. Just make sure it's straight. Okay, and that just adds that piece right there. And that's going to support the beams that go up once I do the wing cage there. Okay, and I'm not finished with that yet. All right, moving on. All right, so to begin where my wing mounts are going to go, I cut two little cocktail sticks. They're a little bit over an inch, not even quite an inch and a half, just a little bit over an inch long. And I do this by eye. I don't really measure. I kind of, okay, just do that and place the stick there. And that's going to begin to form the where I'm going to mount the wings and the gears and all that. The gearbox, yeah, we'll call it that. Okay, so that's how I start that, and I'm going to do the other side as well. So I go by this little notch, and I couldn't quite get the sticks in the notch the way I originally wanted, so I just do it this way. Still works. Whoops, and gotta make sure I glue the other one. Put plenty of glue and then let it sit, let it dry. Okay, make sure they're straight. All right. So once I get my sticks to glue, I then put a cross beam there. Okay, and that begins to form the wing mount that I want. So, all right, so I'm gonna let this dry a little bit so it doesn't get messed up. All right, so I should be able to finish these two builds, hopefully by the next video. But basically now I put the two sticks are cut here, and one of them is slightly lower than the other one. That was done on purpose. And basically do these two box-like structures here, okay, and put a cross beam to strengthen everything. And that's again where the gears and the wings and everything are going to go through, right? So then the next thing is to just continue adding sticks across, are going to continue to reinforce this area, and then build a little cockpit platform over here. So that I will finish that. I will do that next video. You'll see how I do the little cockpit, and then we'll sculpt another eagle head. And what I might do is make a slightly different eagle head on this one, okay? And for the tail is very simple. The tail is literally the skeleton for the tail, because I still have to make the tail section out of the paper that I'm using. This is basically just a little square of wood that I cut from a larger popsicle stick, and then glued my cocktail sticks, okay, at an angle out of that little square, and that becomes the tail assembly. So let me see. So yeah, it's about 2 inches. So the tail is about 2 inches in length, okay? So these little sticks here are about 2 inches in length, maybe a few millimeters less. I don't know, I didn't quite measure when I cut them, but that seems like a nice length, so I went with that. And that's it. Now we got to let all this dry before finishing it up. And this one's definitely going to be finished by the next video, and then we'll attach the wings and everything. Now, for the wings that I'm making here I added another stick here to kind of reinforce that area. But basically, I then stick it into a piece of foam so that it can glue, and this way it has that nice kind of downward angle here that I wanted, okay? So like it's flapping wings. Now, I'm going to have to add some kind of mechanism here. Maybe these are too big and too heavy, but I'll make something else. Maybe I'll find from the little electronic gears that I took out of something that I had that wasn't working. So maybe I can put something there, okay? So give it the illusion that there is some kind of mechanism in those wings. All right, so we're gonna let that dry, and next video we will be ready to finish this ornithopter here. All right, so I hope you like it. I certainly do. I'm having a lot of fun with these builds. These are going to be pretty big. These are not going to be small ornithopters, and they are made for either 15 millimeter or 172 scale. So there we go. So then we're going to be attaching the wings and making the ballista that's probably going to go on the bottom, which is where it's going to fire the spells. So the wizard will be, his or her spells will be amplified by the ballista, and it can fire a lightning spell or fireball spells, whatever it is. But that'll be the weapon. I'm also thinking of doing some like alchemy bombs. That's what I'm going to call them, alchemy bombs, and they'll hang from somewhere over here, and then those alchemy bombs can also be dropped on troops. So All right, well, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video when we finally get to finish this. In this video, I showed you the tail assembly and starting the wing uh, area, the wing assembly, and then the mount for the wing, and then also showed my plans for the construction of the wing. All right. See you in the next video.